It appears that things are beginning to progress in our story, but it's important to remember that there's always more to know. And to learn, sometimes you must step back a bit to take everything into view. So, stepping back at about the same time that Taleon, Rico, and his teacher were just finishing their first day of training in demonic energy, and Foster and Hamilton were meeting for the very first time. Far from there, in the demon's realm, other events were unfolding. There, within the city of Matara, deep within the walls of the obsidian castle that looms over the city, a tall, handsome man with flowing red hair, long with locks in it, hanging down to about his shoulders. A man sits alone in a room, his legs crossed over one another, his arms at rest on the arms of the chair, only not completely. There he sits, seeming somewhat impatient, tapping one of his fingers on the arm of the chair, his foot tapping as well on the floor, making a rhythmic clicking sound, as he's been waiting there for some time. But finally, the door to the room opens. Master Messatora, an armored figure announces, with pale purple skin and dark black hair, adorned in a set of black armor. He enters the room with great haste, kneeling before the man in the chair. Master Messatora, the report. Lord Valus told me to correspond these things to you, so I'm here as ordered. The update is as such. We have managed to gather about a quarter of the elite task forces that we had scattered about, including 4 hunter squadrons and 6 magical brigades. The men have been shifted into groups, best suited for long-time ranged missions. Unfortunately, Master Valus regrets to inform you that they were unable to retrieve the rest of the squadrons. It is unfortunate that news of your son's detection has begun to spread. Nearby kingdoms are beginning to mobilize. There have already been several encroachments on our territory, and we can afford to move no more soldiers. Our enemies may see this as an opportunity, taking their chances to attack. Some have already begun to do so, the weaker ones at least, believing that we may be more distracted than we are. But regardless of the risk, Lord Valus has ordered that that quarter remain. He is not sending them back to the line. He is in fact furious that he was not able to pull more. Our enemy's movements are troublesome. All of the squadrons have been assembled within the combat hall and are awaiting their final orders before dispatch. Portals to the segment of the human realm that your son was detected in have already been seized by the kingdom, are locked down on permanent notice until such time as the prince is found. They will allow only soldiers to pass through. We do regret to inform you, sir, that before the lockdown was completely in place, there was an attack on one of the gates. Nearly 40 of our men were, well, beaten within an inch of their life. Luckily, no one was killed. However, an exceptional amount of damage was done to the surrounding area around the gate. The structure is less stable than it should be, and whoever it was that attacked was able to get through the gate. We are unaware of who it is. Unfortunately, Whoever it was also smart enough to disable the temporal imaging systems, so we are unable to recall the images of the encounter. We have no idea who it was or how many they had with them, but they were exceptionally powerful. 10 of the soldiers guarding that gate were Mira class, mid-rank demons with magical training and much higher level armaments than that of an average soldier such as myself, and an intense amount of combat training. To have gotten past them so easily, whatever force assailed them must have been quite terrifying. Lord Valus is launching a full investigation, of course, and hopes to find out who this assailant was and why they intended to pass through the gate, though the explanation seems to be evident. Lord Valus says because of this attack there is no time to wait. We cannot simply hope for the best. He has ordered that the troops that he gathered be dispatched today, in no more than a few hours, in fact, and says that if you wish, you can inspect the troops before they leave, even change their arrangements, should you see fit. He trusts your combat experience and expertise in this matter. The aligning of soldier groups is well within your purview of skill, Master Mesotora. That is all the information that I have been given, sir. Do you wish me to relay any messages? No, that will be fine. Thank you for the update, Mesotora said as he stood from his seat. Will you be inspecting the soldiers before they depart? The soldier asked, looking up at him, still not getting up from his knees. No, that will be unnecessary. Lord Valus is more than knowledgeable enough to assemble teams in an efficient order. He has military training and experience all his own. My input would be unnecessary and only slow the process. You may continue with your business, but for the moment being I have other things to attend to, he said as he walked past the armored figure, exiting the door and into the halls. Yes, sir, he heard before the door closed behind him. Mesotora began to walk the halls, seeming in a great hurry, as if he had a destination to reach, somewhere he needed to be right now. All the while the thoughts raced through his mind. It's good. Hamilton was able to get through the gate. I knew that they wouldn't be able to stop him, but still, it's a relief to know that he made it through, and has been the first to enter the human world. That means he has a head start. With any luck, he will be the first one to reach my son. He should have all the strength that he needs to protect him and ensure that he makes it back, at least against our own soldiers. But those enemy troops moving outside our borders is most likely only a weak distraction, hoping that Valus would focus on it, draw his troops back. That way they can set forth for the human world themselves, meaning that no doubt others will send forces, some maybe even elites, high-level demons, just like Hamilton and myself. The clock is ticking. Hurry, Hamilton. Time is not on your side, he thought to himself as he rapidly walked the corridors, finally coming to the end of a long passageway, a large set of black doors, double doors with iron knockers, standing nearly 15, maybe 20 foot tall, and nearly 15 foot wide as well. He stops for a moment, standing in front of the doorways. From beyond the door, he can already hear it, a song being sung. A lullaby. The voice is that of the most beautiful woman he has ever known. Her voice is like that of an angel, a song that would soothe even the most distraught of souls, bringing them comfort in even their most weary of times. And yet, hearing the song brings him no comfort, as he has heard it many times before. Every day, every single day, without fail, he hears that single song on a loop, being sung again and again. Because however beautiful it might sound, however much comfort it might give one, if they didn't know, he understands the sorrow within that song, that it is she who sings it that is truly suffering, that needs to be comforted, that needs to be saved from the darkness she lays in. And so, he takes one last breath to bring himself into composure before opening one of the large doors and walking into the room.